Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought to you with emotion, passion, truth, and of course, my comments. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, a lot of different directions to go into. Avatar touches on something that I'm definitely going to talk about, but not until the end of the show. And that is Avatar says, "What's up, Broncos country and Nuggets Nation?" Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I know I want to get into that about last night, but I will. I'll touch on that. I promise, Avatar. So stick around. I'm going to. That's going to be the last topic, actually. So let's get right into this. Like I said, a couple of different directions, mainly Broncos, of course, but some other topics as well. Clayton Haran is in the house. Clayton says, "Evening, bud. Hey, nice to have you, Clayton, as always. And yes, do smash that like button and share with all your friends, your family, your enemies, your pets. I don't care who, your next door neighbor. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to be a part of the chat and part of the show. So I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. All right. Russell Wilson. Now, tomorrow, Russell Wilson which is June 3rd, of course. Russell Wilson will host a youth football camp at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. It says he's going to focus on fun, which is good. Focus on fun, but also touch on polishing their football skills and learning the basics of the sport. Well, going by how Russell Wilson played last year, maybe he should take a page out of his own teaching right there. I mean, and I know, guys, it was Hackett, and I've well, not literally, but figuratively, beating Hackett, till I'm blue in the face. But it's true. It was Hackett that was the primary reason why Russell Wilson played as badly as he did, because of play calling and just everything surrounding. But we haven't seen a Russell Wilson, as of yet playing. But I thought that was pretty nice that he's going to do a youth football camp for kids. I think that's great. I really do. It gives the kids a chance to see a professional athlete up close, in person, shake their hands, high five, whatever. I think it's a great thing to do. It shows community awareness, and that's always a good thing. But I guess I was kind of tongue in cheek when I said he should take a page out of what his teaching skills are going to be to the kids. But then again, like I said, we haven't seen a different Russell Wilson. We can only go by last year. Let's hope that changes. All right. Clayton said he's on vacation. Are you going anywhere? Clayton, you just staying around the house, doing what they call a staycation or stay vacation or whatever. That's cool. Good. Congratulations. You probably well deserved, no doubt. Probably well deserved. All right. Speaking of Russell Wilson, is he in trouble? And I don't mean in trouble with the law or in trouble with the team or anything like that. I'm talking about in trouble of being the starting quarterback. One person in the NFL, a writer, thinks very, very seriously that Russell Wilson is in trouble. Here it is. Russell Wilson's first season in Denver couldn't have been worse. There were injuries, mega losses, and total collapse. With Sean Payton as the Broncos' new head coach, Sean Payton, isn't indebted to Wilson or anyone else. You got to understand, guys, Sean Payton does not fool around. He is a person and a head coach that doesn't care what you think about him, doesn't care what you whether or not you feel you're capable of doing your job. He's the head coach, and he's going to run this Broncos team like they haven't been run for years, and I mean years. We have to go way back. We have to go back to probably Mike Shanahan as how it was run. Sean Payton is different, much, much different than Nathaniel Hackett last year, and Vic Fangio, and Vance Joseph. Much, much different. We're seeing that already. Here we go. ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum believes Wilson's job is truly at risk. According to Tannenbaum, and I quote, Sean Payton is the new sheriff in town and is beholden to no one, including Russell Wilson's guaranteed contract. End quote. That's exactly true. Sean Payton could care less. Now, does Sean Payton have to go through George Payton? Absolutely. Absolutely. But do you think for one moment that if Sean Payton sees that Russell Wilson isn't up to where he wants him to be, that he won't hesitate to bench him? Of course he will. Of course he will. Because like it says here, he is not beholden to anyone, including Russell Wilson. I mean, we saw Peyton Manning benched by Clint Kubiak or Gary Kubiak. We saw him benched, and Peyton Manning wasn't happy about that. He totally was disgusted with it, but it was the right and correct move, because in my opinion, had Peyton Manning played injured as he was, we would not have won those games, guys. And we dang sure would not have gone to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Absolutely would not have. And that is what Sean Payton is looking at. He is looking at a situation where he could have to bench Russell Wilson. Do I want to see that? No, of course not. I want Russell Wilson to move up, be better than he was, be back to the way he was in Seattle. That's the kind of performance I want. But I'm just saying, guys, according to, Mike Tannenbaum, he feels that Sean Payton will not hesitate to bench Russell Wilson should that be the case. Wilson is determined to improve this season. But if he doesn't improve, he could find himself sitting instead of playing. Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And Sean Payton, like I mentioned earlier, doesn't care. He doesn't really care whether or not you like what he's doing or the choices he's making. It's not about him. It's about the team. And the team is 53 men strong plus a practice squad. It's not one guy, Russell. It's not one guy. Yes, you are the starting quarterback as of now, and most likely you will be, as long as you continue to improve and continue to do the job that you need to do. And that is be a good, solid quarterback. Smart decisions. But don't think for one moment that Sean Payton is going to throw all his eggs into the Russell Wilson basket, because that's not going to happen. That's why we have backup quarterbacks. Why? Just in case. Just in case you can't do the job. There's somebody right behind you that is willing to step in. And I guarantee those backup quarterbacks are listening to Sean Payton. They are learning and they are adjusting. They're doing whatever he says to do. Hopefully, Russell Wilson is doing the same. Because if he isn't, he could be sitting and not playing. Let's see. Clayton says, no, putting in wooden floors, painting my walls and window. Oh, wow, dude. So you call that a vacation? Well, I mean, it's work that you want to do, probably, or work that needs to be done. And, and it's making your place look better and making you feel more at home and making, things much nicer. So that's good. That's good. Sometimes vacation doesn't necessarily mean getting away. Sometimes it means, taking care of things you want to take care of that you can't do when you're working. So that's good, Clayton. I'm glad that's going well. Welcome, Bob Gaynor. Hey, thank you so much, man. Glad you showed up in the chat, and feel free to chime in with any questions or comments. I will get to all of them unless I deem them not to be appropriate, but I continue. Okay. Tom Brady. Now, like I mentioned in my show last week, Tom Brady looks like he's going to be a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, that's all well and good. Congratulations to him if that's what he wants to do. But there is a different twist to that. And here it is. like I said, I mentioned last show that Tom Brady was headed to the Raiders to be a minority owner. However, Tom Brady may actually play for the Raiders if Garoppolo can't due to an injured foot and surgery he sustained last season. According to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk, Jimmy Garoppolo may never play for the Raiders. The reason why? It's because the injury that he sustained and the surgery, the Raiders can get out of his guaranteed contract money. They can let him go because he was basically damaged goods. So they don't have to honor the contract. So who would their quarterback be? It can't be their backup because he's in Denver now. I'm sorry, guys, his name escapes me. But he's in Denver now, so they don't have him. Tom Brady. But has Tom Brady become an official minority owner for the Raiders? I don't think so, because I don't think that the owners have voted yet. Remember, the owners have to vote whether or not you can be an owner or not, even whether or not it's minority. It doesn't have to be full-fledged. It just has to be, it could be anything, as long as, if you're going to be a partial owner, yeah, it still has to get voted on by the league. Thanks, Avatar. You're right. Stidham. That's right. Stidham. Thanks again. So if he hasn't become minority owner yet, could we see Tom Brady come out of retirement for the second time? Why not? Why not? Let me continue. That would or could open the door for Tom Brady to step in. Brady, would be playing in an offense he's familiar with, a head coach that he knows extremely well, as well as an offense that is loaded with the receivers. There you go. Could we be seeing Tom Brady in a Raiders uniform playing 2 times against the Broncos this year? Please tell me no. Please tell me it's not going to happen. But it could. If he is not officially a minority owner voted on by the other owners, the other 31 owners of the league, and he's not official, he could step out of retirement into the Raiders locker room wearing number 12. Well, that was Kenny Stabler, so I'm sure Kenny Stabler would give that number up, and let Tom Brady wear it. Because I don't think Tom Brady's worn any other number in his life in the NFL. In fact, I doubt it. So that would be interesting. But think of this, guys. Tom Brady in the AFC West, when we already have 2 other quarterbacks that beat the heck out of us, and that is Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. And then we'd have to face Tom Brady? Oh, come on, man. It was bad enough when we had to face him against New England only one time, but it seemed like every year. This would be 2 times. Man, you don't think for one moment that, you talk about stepping right into a well-designed team for him. He would have Josh McDaniels as the head coach. He would have the game plans that he's so used to, the play calling he's used to. And he'd play against the Broncos, our nemesis being Tom Brady, twice. And then we'd have to face Herbert twice and Mahomes twice. Come on, man, give us a break. Don't let Tom Brady go to the Raiders, please. Don't let it happen. But it doesn't look like Garoppolo is going to be a starter for the Raiders. According to what I've read and what I've done my research on, the Raiders are not going to want to have damaged goods. And they've already talked about pulling back the guaranteed money because he's damaged goods. And if he doesn't pass the physical, then they don't have to pay him a single dime. Not one single dime. That opens the door for Tom Brady. Oh my gosh. Hang on to your seats, guys. Hang on. Strap those seatbelts in, because this could be an ugly, ugly season. It could be an ugly, ugly season, but we'll find out. Let's see. Clayton says we all should be looking forward for the season. Can't wait, guys. Swim fit, Russ, loaded receiver core, ground and pound game, and better defense, and one of the best coaches out there, and score a ton more than 8 points a game. Well, yeah, thanks. So, yeah, I would 100% agree with that. We need to score more than 8 points a game. I mean, that was horrendous last year watching those games. It was painful. And I was on with Madungus Creepy doing the neighborhood, and it was tough. It was tough going. So yeah, anything better than 8 points. I mean, I'll even at this point in time, I'll take. I don't want to say 14. I don't want to cut it short, but we need to score into the 20s, no doubt about it. I know it's going to be a run-heavy offense. That's okay, but we haven't seen, I know Javonte Williams is back on the practice for OTAs. They're saying he looks good. He's making some good cuts. And Russell Wilson has slimmed down. And I read today, I didn't have it in my notes, but I did read it right before the show, that Sean Payton said that Russell Wilson looked good today in OTAs. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that, good being average, or good being better than what he has been last year. I don't know. Didn't say. He's not going to elaborate, guys. He is not going to elaborate. Remember, like I said last week, and I continue to say it, and Sean Payton continues to do it. Lips closed. We're not going to give away any secrets. We're not going to give away any, quote, laundry. Not going to do it. And that brings me into the next topic about what Sean Payton's doing regarding the media and lips closed. Media is shut out by Sean Payton. Sean Payton is totally in charge when it comes to dealing with the media. Players are not to tweet about their practice on the social media platform whatsoever. Sean Payton, wants tight lips and fingers. Doesn't want you, using your smartphone or whatever, texting how the day went with OTAs. Oh, yeah, I caught this or I burned it. No, none of it. Keep your mouth shut. Okay. The media has been instructed to not post or write about OTAs, period. Ooh, that's a far cry from last year. Last year, man, it was like open season for, posting whatever they wanted to post and whatever they wanted to write about. And it's not good to do that. You're airing inside information, so to speak. You don't do that. You don't shoot yourself in the foot. Well, they did last year. That's obvious. All right. They can only report on talks if Sean Payton is interviewed or the players are at the podium after the practice. That's it. That is it. Leaks happened way too often in years past, and Sean Payton isn't letting it happen going forward. I agree with that. Like I said in my show last week, I agree with it up to a point. I would love being a fan. I would love to know how the OTAs are going. How Russell Wilson threw. Did he throw for a 60-yard, bomb and drop it right into the receiver? Did he scramble out of a danger and run and throw on the run and hit his receiver? No, we don't know any of that because Sean Payton doesn't want it known. Why? Because this is business. This is business, not business as usual, but this is business according to Sean Payton. And he is not going to allow the media to dictate and to make a circus, so to speak, of what they're doing in OTAs. We will see that come opening day against the Raiders at home. That's when we'll see what they have done all these offseason, how they've done their OTAs. I mean, not how they've done them, but we will see the result of how they've done them. And that is what Sean Payton wants. Doesn't want this to be put out there in the media. That doesn't do the Broncos and the team any good. What you're doing is you're exposing possible good things and possible not so good things. You don't want that out there. You want it dealt in-house. This is a team. This is an organization. This is a business. This is a mission that Sean Payton is focused on. He could care less whether or not the media is there or not. He could care less. He just doesn't want them to put anything out there without his permission, so to speak. Whether or not he's being interviewed or the players are in front of the podium, then you can answer the questions. But you better keep it pretty close to the vest and don't give away any secrets. Don't give away anything that can come back to haunt us down the road during the season. You don't do that. This is not yesteryear's team. This is this year's team. It's much different. It's going to be much different. And Sean Payton is already stamping his name on this team. This is Sean Payton's team. Don't be fooled and think it's Russell Wilson's team. No. That was last year. That was last year when Russell Wilson, in my opinion, had control of the entire organization. This is not Russell Wilson's team. This is Sean Payton's team. And if the players don't wake up and realize that things are different and accept it, they're not going to be long for being on the Broncos and wearing orange and blue. That's for sure. All right. Hey, what's going on there? Texas Hockey Cards, how you doing? Bronco Bill is on the means the Nuggets win. Good evening, gentlemen. Yes, I will talk about the Nuggets on my last segment. So stick around for that. That's for sure. Glad you're in the house there, Texas Hockey Cards. Nice to have you chime in. Always appreciate it. All right. Speaking of Sean Payton, Russ Tucker, who writes for the NFL website, The 33rd Team, has ranked Sean Payton as the league's fourth best head coach. Fourth? Wonder who the top three are. Well, it only mentions the top one. Tucker has ranked Andy Reid of the Kansas City Chiefs as the best head coach in the NFL. Okay, well, they're giving that to him, or I'm saying he's giving that to him, in my opinion, because they're the defending Super Bowl champions. So obviously you're going to be ranked the best head coach if you just won a championship. I mean, that goes without saying. But who's number 2 and number 3? I mean, who's number 2 and number 3? Is it going to be the Philadelphia Eagles head coach because they made it to the Super Bowl even though they lost? I could see that. I didn't mention it in this article. But it very well could be the Philadelphia head coach. No doubt about it. Who would be the third one? Cincinnati Bengals head coach? Possibly. Possibly the Bengals. The Bills head coach? Yeah, I could see that. Sean Payton, number 4. Wow. That's interesting. I wonder if, obviously it's based on what he's done in New Orleans, but I'm wondering if he moves up, let's say during the season or at the end of the season next year, if he moves up from number 4, depending on how the Broncos play, or could he move down depending on how the Broncos play? But he's ranked number 4. That's a pretty high praise for a guy who hasn't coached in a year. And I know a year, it doesn't seem that long. It's only a year removed. And yes, he was around football because he was an analyst or on a panel, I should say, before the game. So yes, he knows the game. He still knows the game. He's probably forgotten more than I'll ever know. In fact, that's a fact. I know he's forgotten more than I'll know. But a year removed is not that long. And like I said, he still was around football. So only time will tell. And only time with Russell Wilson will tell. That's for sure. All right. Let's see. Payton has his hands full, however, according to Russ Tucker. Payton has his hands full, but if he can get Wilson to respond to his teaching, Denver will be all smiles. Absolutely. No doubt about it. That's a huge if, though. If he can get Russell Wilson to buy into what he's teaching, if he can get Russell Wilson to believe what he is trying to get across, then and only then will Denver succeed. It's all up to Russell Wilson right here. But between the ears, right here. He's got to believe it. He's got to then do it. And he's got to eat, breathe, sweep whatever Sean Payton is trying to get across to Russell Wilson. All Wilson has to do is look at what's the name? Drew Brees. All Russell Wilson has to do is look at Drew Brees. Drew Brees was nowhere near what Drew Brees ended up being if it wasn't for Sean Payton. Drew Brees listened to Sean Payton. He did what Sean Payton asked him to do. And he ended up being a Super Bowl champion and ended up having a great career because of Sean Payton. Drew Brees has even alluded to that and said the very same thing. If it wasn't for Sean Payton, I wouldn't have had the career that I had. Well, Russell Wilson hopefully can say the same thing, but he's going to have to believe it. He's going to have to do it. And he's going to have to listen to Sean Payton in order for it to work. Plain and simple, guys. Plain and simple. Let's see. Texas Hockey Card says, of course, Belichick. They all think Brady is still a Patriot. Yeah, I know. Absolutely. Yeah, no kidding. Same with McDaniels. They all still think he's a Patriot too. So will it work? If Tom Brady were to play as a Raiders quarterback, would it work? I don't know. I mean, McDaniels doesn't have a history of being a very good head coach, but hey, if you got Tom Brady on your team, I don't think you really have to be that great of a head coach because he's going to take over and do what he does best, just like Peyton Manning did for the Broncos. Not saying that Gary Kubiak wasn't a great head coach in Denver. He was. But Peyton Manning made Gary Kubiak that much better. Tom Brady would make McDaniels that much better. All right. The Broncos have a new field goal kicker. This topic bothers me. Really, really ticks me off. And I'm going to get into that. And you're going to see why it ticks me off. After Denver let McManus leave, or better yet, released him, he signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I mentioned this last week, but I'm bringing this back up because of who Denver signed. Therefore, Denver had to sign a kicker, and that kicker is Elliott Fry. From where? From the Jacksonville Jaguars. What the heck? Why in heaven's name are we taking a kicker from Jacksonville Jaguars and releasing McManus? I know it saved the Broncos $3.7 million in salary cap. Who cares? $3.7 million is chump change to these guys. And I mean these guys being a Walton Penner ownership group. It's chump change. It's like me reaching up into my cabinet right here and pulling out 25 cents. It's chump change to them. $3.7 million cap space. Whoopee. To get rid of McManus. And here's why this upsets me so bad. Listen to this. You guys should be ticked off just as much as I am. Listen. Fry appeared in 3 NFL games. 3? And has played for 10 NFL teams. The kid is 28 years old. He's been on 10 teams. Obviously, because he's not good enough to stay. And McManus has been on the Broncos, I think, for 7 or 8 years straight. He was a Super Bowl 50 champion. That season, he was almost perfect in everything he kicked. Yes, I'm frustrated. Yes, I'm angry. Because this, to me, was a stupid move. Stupid. Just dumb. I know, guys, they know more than I do. I understand that. But I'll tell you what, if this backfires and Jacksonville has a tremendous season because McManus is dang near perfect and they're winning close games because of a field goal here and there, yeah, that was a stupid move. You saved $3.7 million, but you may have lost your kicker. Well, obviously they lost their kicker, but they may have made a drastic mistake. Special teams is extremely important in the NFL. And I'm not just talking about kickoff receiving or punting. It also has to do with kickoffs. It has to do with field goals made, extra points made. Let me continue. This gets even worse. Let me continue. Fry, in his NFL career, has made 5 of 6 field goals, with his longest being what? 44 yards? Oh, police. Are you freaking kidding me? 44 yards is his longest. McManus is longest is 60. That's 16 yards longer. And we got rid of McManus. Why? Because he missed a 64-yarder they had no business making or even trying? Because Hackett was the head coach? Yes, I know he missed some extra points last year. And yes, I know he missed some field goals. That happens to everybody. But you just kick him down the road and send him to Jacksonville or let him sign to Jacksonville? Because you're trying to save $3.7 million and you're a little bit upset because he missed some field goals last year? Would that have made a difference? We only won 5 games last year, guys. We had no business. Even if we won 8, we wouldn't have made the playoffs. We would have been 8 and 9. It's not going to happen. Not going to work. Not going to make it. So we're going to go and sign a guy who's only made 5 of 6 field goals. And his longest is 44 yards. Oh, and he also is 5 of 7 on extra points, so he's missed 2 of them. Well, I think that's what McManus missed last year. So we signed this guy to a 1-year contract. Like it's kind of like an evaluation contract. And then Sean Payton comes out today and says, "Well, you know, we're still evaluating other kickers from other teams, so we're not done evaluating." Well, why'd you get rid of freaking McManus? Just to save a few bucks? Yes, a few bucks to the Walton Penner ownership group. That's exactly what it is. It's a few bucks to them. To me and you, it's millions. But it is millions, 3.7 in the salary cap. But like I said, who cares? You could work around that with restructured contracts or something else. Maybe he didn't fit into what Sean Payton wants to do. Well, in my opinion, if Sean Payton did this and wanted McManus out because he didn't think that he fit in or whomever wanted him out, or whether or not it might have even been the ownership group that said, "Hey, we want to save $3.7 million." Well, I don't care who made the call. It was stupid. It was not a brilliant move. Now, I hope this kid proves me wrong. I hope this kid proves me wrong in Elliott Fry. I really do. I hope he makes every field goal, and I hope his longest becomes more than 44 yards, because that means you're kicking it. If it's a 44-yard field goal, he's kicking it from the other team's 34-yard line. Excuse me, 34, actually 28-yard line, because he's 7 yards back, which makes it 35. And then you add 10 yards at the end, so that's 45. That would be his longest. Holy cow. That means the Broncos have to get to the freaking 28-yard line of the other team for him to attempt a field goal that would be longest of 45 yards? Wow. That is absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic, in my opinion. I hope this kid proves me wrong. I just don't understand that move, and especially I don't understand that signing. A guy who's been on 10 different teams. He's only 28 years old. He can't seem to hold the job more than 5 minutes. Obviously, it seems like. Should I give the kid the benefit of the doubt? Why? He hasn't proven himself. In the past, he hasn't proven himself. Now, he could prove himself coming up this season. We won't know. We won't know until the season gets here. But I'm telling you something right now, guys. If he has to make a 45 or 48-yard field goal to win the game, and he misses it, and the game is in Denver, you're going to hear mega boos, guaranteed. Guaranteed you're going to hear mega boos. And one of them is going to be coming from this guy, because I did not want McManus gone. Not whatsoever. And now we're stuck with Fry. And he may just get fried by the Bronco fans if he doesn't come through and he misses even a short field goal. Because McManus was money. Most of his time in Denver, McManus was money. He dang sure was money in 2015 when the Broncos went to the Super Bowl and won Super Bowl 50 in 2016. He was money. He was absolutely, in fact, they were calling him Brandon McMoney for the longest time because he was bank. All right, I move on. All right, the topic of the show is called Skip and Shannon No More. Here's the reason. Before I get into that, let's see. Clayton Huron says, I agree. I don't know if he's agreeing with me or agreeing with the other guys in the chat. it doesn't matter if you're agreeing with me or agreeing with them. It's still the same. I'm still frustrated that we got rid of McManus and we signed this guy. Anyways, I move on. Like I said, topic of the show is called Skip and Shannon No More, and here's the reason why. Shannon Sharpe is leaving Fox Sports 1 after 7 years alongside Skip Bayless at the conclusion of the NBA Finals. The reason seems to be over a disputed exchange in recent months. Tension between the two reached a boiling point when Bayless tweeted about what the NFL should do regarding the game between the Bengals and the Bills in the wake of Damar Hamlin collapsing on the field. That was last year's, right before the playoffs. I think it was week 15, I believe it was. And we all know the ugly incident that we all saw play out live on national TV. Here's what Bayless tweeted out. Here it is. Bayless tweeted, and I quote, here we go. Bayless tweeted, and I quote, "This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant." End quote. So basically what Bayless is saying here is he is saying that that game should have continued to be played because it was that important for the playoff picture in the AFC. He was not giving any regard to an injured and collapsed Damar Hamlin. We all were in shock. We all saw what happened. And Shannon Sharpe took offense to that. Absolutely took offense to that. And in fact, Shannon Sharpe didn't show up the next day to be on the undisputed or uninterrupted, I should say, uninterrupted show with Skip Bayless. But he did return 2 days later. And here's what happened. Sharpe opened the show a couple of days later, imploring Bayless to take down the tweet, to which Bayless responded and interrupted Shannon Sharpe. "Time out, boy. I'm not going to take it down. I stand by what I tweeted," end quote. That was absolutely, in my opinion, very arrogant, very disrespectful, not only to Shannon Sharpe, but to Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin's life could have been totally different and gone had it not been for those first responders on the field and then at the hospital and then through his recovery process. And that's what Shannon Sharpe was saying. Yes, the game should have been suspended, in which it was. You don't play a game when something that serious happens. Now, sure, we continue the games when a player gets injured and they're taken off. This was not an injury. This was a life-threatening incident, life-threatening issue that had to be dealt with. And it was extremely emotional to the players, emotionally to the players and to the fans. The game was later played at a neutral site. So it was played, Skip, but you got to watch what you say. You've got to watch your actions. And Shannon Sharpe said, enough's enough. I'm not dealing with this. This guy's arrogant. This guy's just doesn't care. And Skip Bayless, in my opinion, I don't watch the show all that much because I don't like Skip Bayless and his stupid attitude. And this is another reason to prove it. And Shannon Sharpe finally said, enough's enough. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm not going to sit here and be on a show with a person that does not have any regard for somebody's life. It's a football game. It's a game. Yes, it's their business. Yes, it's their livelihood. Yes, it's their income. It's all of that. But it's also, it's not, pardon the pun, I don't mean this in any disrespect, but football is not life and death. Damar Hamlin's life was and is. And that's the difference, Skip. You got to understand, excuse me, guys, you got to understand that it's a game. It's just like if in baseball, if a pitcher were to take a shot from the batter with the ball coming back and he hits him in the head and he loses consciousness, you're not going to continue the game. You're not, because it's too freaking emotional. You're wrapped up in the seriousness of an incident. And this was very serious. But apparently it's all about Skip. It's all about, I got to see that game. Well, it's important for the NFL. It was played. And I agree with Shannon Sharpe. Walk away. Don't be a part of this anymore. Enough is enough. Sharpe says, Sharpe felt Bayless' comments were inappropriate and has stated he is leaving the network after the NBA Finals. Good for him. Good for him. I wish Shannon Sharpe all the best. I really do. And he's going to land on his feet. He's going to land somewhere else. But he takes a stand. He's like, I am not dealing with this anymore. I am not going to sit here and listen to this guy rant and rave about things that are very inconsiderate, inappropriate. You don't do that. You absolutely don't do that. And Shannon Sharpe is walking away after the NFL Finals. I'm probably going to watch here in the next couple of days or when their show's on, just to see how Shannon Sharpe handles it and see how it all unfolds. I want Shannon Sharpe to go out with his head held high. I want him to go out saying, hey, I did what I felt I needed to do. I don't think he should hang his head. I don't think he should apologize for leaving. I absolutely do not. And I hope he doesn't. And apparently, going by that article, he's not going to hang his head. He's taking a stand. He's taking the correct stand. And that is, he's standing for a guy who could have lost his life. And Skip Bayless is only concerned about a game being played. As a fan, yes, we all were a little bit bummed that the game ended. I know I was, but not because I wanted to be played because of the importance. It's just I love football and I wanted to see the game. But under the circumstances, I didn't want the game to be played because it was so emotional. There's no way those players could have played. There's absolutely no freaking way those players could have played. They would have so many heavy hearts. It would have been a joke. The NFL did the correct thing. And Shannon Sharpe, in my opinion, is also doing the correct thing. All right. Rising Rhino says, Shannon Sharpe's leaving? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And if you missed any part of that segment, go back. You can rewind. I think you can rewind now. And if you can't, you can definitely go back after the show. It will definitely be posted on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can go back and watch the entire show. Yes, Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is leaving. Rising Rhino says, what's up? Well, a lot of things are happening, man. You just, like I said, if you missed any part of it, go back and watch it. I hope you totally enjoy it. Absolutely. Okay. Last segment for the show, the Denver Nuggets. Hang on, guys. Something's going on here with my internet. Let's see. I'm going in and out. I'm not liking this one bit. Hang on, guys. Let's turn this off and then we'll get back to, okay. I think that'll be better now. Hopefully the show didn't have a whole lot of jumping nuts into. So, all right. Rising Rhino says Nuggets for the win. Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of Nuggets for the win, that's my last topic. Here it is. The Denver Nuggets continue to surprise the NBA world, or at least they're surprising me. Taking down the Lakers in 4 straight, they haven't slowed down, and they took game 1 of the NBA Finals over the Miami Heat, 104-93. Jokic continues to be the best center, collecting another triple-double in his first ever Finals appearance. Denver looks to take a stranglehold come Sunday come Sunday in game 2. There you go. 104-93. The Denver Nuggets look unbeatable. Absolutely look unbeatable. Are they going to sweep Miami? I don't know. I personally don't think so. I would hope so. That would be phenomenal. But my fear going into the finals was this, and I mentioned this to Madungus Creevy during the game of the neighborhood last night, that I felt that the Nuggets would come out sluggish and maybe not even get a win in game 1, because in my opinion, they had never beaten the Lakers. Well, not my opinion, it's a fact. They had never beaten the Lakers in the playoffs at all. And to go and sweep the Lakers and win the fourth game in LA was an absolute masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece. And sometimes when teams do that and they win a series they're not expected to win, and they do something they've never done before, that's usually their pinnacle, their crowning glory. That's usually where it is. And then they fall off going into, because they just don't have the same energy. They just don't have the same drive because it took everything they had to get to that next level, which is the finals, and sweeping the Lakers and winning it in LA. That, to me, I thought, that's not good, because they're going to be very, very, not a letdown, so to speak, but it very well could have been a letdown. It wasn't. They absolutely ran ramshot over Miami. Was it a close game? 11 points? Yes, it was. But it was typical Denver Nuggets basketball. It was Jokic. It was Murray. It was Porter Jr. It was the entire team. It was the bench players. It was coaching. It was exactly what the Nuggets have been doing all year. And that is surprising everybody. Maybe not the people, in the locker room of the Denver Nuggets, but I'm dang sure it has been surprising a lot of people, including those in their inner circles of the NBA. No doubt about it. And if Jokic doesn't win MVP of the year, an MVP of this series, I know he won it last series, and I know he doesn't focus on MVP. He's so humble. He is focused on the team winning a championship, not him winning MVP. He always equates winning MVP. It is a team trophy, is a team honor, and he's absolutely correct. But he is the top of that pinnacle when it comes to the Denver Nuggets offense and how he plays. He is so unselfish. He passes the ball more than he'll shoot. He's looking to make the guys around him better, and he's doing just that. And in the process, he's making the entire Denver Nuggets team that much better. And that's why they're up 1-0. They have a chance to take a stranglehold before they head to Miami with a 2-0 lead in the best of 7. That could hopefully happen this coming Sunday. I sure hope it does. I'm looking forward to it. It would be absolutely amazing for the Nuggets to not only go up 2-0, but then, I don't know, do I want them to win it in Miami if they go up 2-0 and then could they win? Do you want them to win it in Miami, or do you want them to lose a game and then come back to Denver and win it? I don't know. I got mixed emotions. I would love for it to happen in Denver, absolutely, but I'm not sure I want them to get a loss either, because once you get one loss, you give the other team that little bit of momentum and that little bit of belief that they can come back and win the series and take the championship. So I'm not quite sure I want that to happen. But I'll tell you what, whether they win it in Miami or they win it in Denver, doesn't matter where they win it, the city of Denver is going to absolutely lose its mind. No doubt about it. Let's see. Hey, Bubba, what's happening, Bubba? Glad to see you in the house, man. Always glad to see you. He says, hey, Bill. I say, hey, Bubba, what's up, man? What's happening? Okay. As like I said, as for the Nuggets, that next game is on Sunday. Madungus, Creevy, and myself will be doing the neighborhood. It'll be game 2. So if you guys are wanting to chime in and be part of the show, please chime in and come in on Sunday when the neighborhood goes live in game 2 of the NBA Finals. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you have not, please do so. Hit the like button, subscribe. It costs you nothing, and it helps out the channel. It helps out the network, and it helps out this show. I really appreciate it, guys. All the shows. We've got many shows Monday through Friday. I'll touch briefly on them. Monday is the Cluster Puck. Tuesday is the 5280. As well as No Nonsense and Whiskey. Wednesday is the Wild Wild West. I know we have it's called Orange and Brew is on Thursday, I believe. And then this show, once again, next week, I have a special. guest next week. You're not going to want to miss it, guys. You're not going to want to miss it. It's not confirmed as of yet. It will be confirmed on Thursday. So stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be epic. I guarantee it. Until next Friday, guys, have a great, great weekend. We will talk to you on Sunday in the neighborhood, and then once again on Friday at 5 p.m. Till then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.